right, so this here is my persuasive speech. Rivalry. According to the Oxford language, rivalry is defined as.
Can you come into the frame a little bit more?
Okay.
Thank you.
According to Oxford language, rivalry is defined as the competition for the same objective or for superiority in the same field. When we think about rivalries on a small level, just think about something small like ham versus turkey, brother versus sister, little small rivalries. When we think about something on major levels, you got the DC Comics versus Marvel, and then you got Pepsi versus Coca-Cola. As my late grandmother would say, it's Pepsi hands down, and wouldn't even be a contest. Something more common rivalries is Whopper versus the Big Mac, Burger King versus McDonald's, and then you got UPS versus FedEx. But when it comes to sports, I would like to introduce you to the greatest rivalry in sports. And to me, that greatest rivalry in sports would have to be none other than the rivalry between Carolina and Duke basketball. This rivalry has been going on since 1920, when their first meeting. And when those two teams first met, Carolina won 36-25. Life is about choices. And when you make a choice, you have to live with that choice. And there's no in between, and you must choose a side. According to the Holy Bible, the King James Version, the 1611 version, Revelation 3:15-16 states, I know thy works, thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou wert cold or hot. So then, because thou art lukewarm, neither cold or hot, I will spew thee out of thy mouth. And that's the same thing when it comes to this rivalry. If anybody knows anything about it, you must choose a side. So my 3 points that I want to state out the reason why Carolina is the better choice between Carolina and Duke is the stats prove that Carolina is better. The amount of talent that was produced between the two programs, between the Carolina program, and then the third point is that the history is longer and is better. Duke versus Carolina rivalry. You think about head-to-head matchups when teams play each other. According to WXII12.com, these teams have met 257 times. And as you can see, right here, this has been updated, but right here at this point, it was 142 to 115. And right now, currently, it's 143 to 115, and Carolina does lead that by 27. So when you're thinking about head-to-head matchups, how can you say that you're better than somebody when you lose to them more than you beat them? Carolina has 28 to 19 of Duke conference titles. These teams are 8 miles apart, and they're in the same conference. So on the road to winning those 28 conference titles, they had to play Duke and had to go through them, and they're doing it on their watch, proving that they are the better team. Now, when it comes to the ACC tournament titles, Duke does have more. They do edge Carolina out about that. But the only difference that I want to point out on that is a tournament is just a weekend, a couple games, compared to being better all season, 30-plus games. My second point that I wanted to get to was the amount of talent that has been produced through Carolina through their program. According to TarHeelsTimes.com, Carolina has 51 honored former players' jerseys hanging up in their Raptors. 43 of these have been honored, and up here at the very top, 8 of these has been retired. And out of these 8 here, out of these great players that have come and produced through Carolina, when you think about the greatest player of all times, arguably everybody knows that would be Michael Jeffrey Jordan. If you look here at his career achievements, he's a world champion, he's a finals MVP, first time NBA defensive player of the year, NBA MVP, slam dunk champion, rookie of the year, gold medalist, did that his last year in college, also won a title in college, and also won the national player of the year in college. And all of this started while he was at Carolina coming through their program. Now transitioning over to my third point of why our history is better. Here it just shows the Battle of the Blues. This is a deep rivalry. Here it shows our regular season championships compared to their 19. This is why I stated earlier that they edges on the 19 to 17. This has been updated. Currently, the Tar Heels have 6 titles to Duke 5 titles. Now, also with our history being stated that it's better, just think about it. The nickname for the state of Carolina is called the Tar Heel State. It doesn't get any better than that. Also, when it comes to the Carolina versus Duke matchup, these teams have been in these rivalries since 1920 and have never met in the NCAA tournament, what they call March Madness. And they met for the first time in the Final Four to go to the final game of the season. And then also in that matchup, Carolina won 81-77 in the first ever matchup. This here, according to Bleacher Report, our stadium is named after one of our legendary coaches, which is Coach Smith, Coach Dean Smith. So when you go there and play at that stadium, it's called the Dean Dome. When he retired, he had 879 career wins, which was also the highest at that time when he retired. Now, do give props to our rivalry Duke. Coach K, he does have the career wins right now. But also, after our coach retired, we also went on to get another legendary coach. And that legendary coach also won 3 titles with us as well. According to CBSSports.com, after that, in 2020, this is when we did the name the court after Roy Williams. So on top of having one legendary coach, the name of the actual stadium that they play at, we got another legendary coach that has his own history, and we named the court after him. So with all that being stated, and sitting here and listening to everything that's been displayed here today, in conclusion, we can all agree that this is really no rivalry. Carolina has the numbers, they have the better players, and their history is longer. So, at the end of the day, when you're thinking about a rivalry, this is the face that I make when somebody says that they're better than you when they lost to you more than they beat you. Thank you.